Oh, hi, Peanut. Yeah, no. So you thought I was gonna dance during that intro. I don't dance, that's for sellouts. So obviously, if you're watching this video, you know exactly what we're doing today. We are gonna be 3D printing a Deadpool and a Wolverine mask. Now, the Deadpool mask is a little interesting. You can see that is nightmare fuel. You can see behind me, and if you've seen in the movies, it's supposed to be a fabric mask. It actually has a face shell underneath it. I don't want to do that because you can't put that on the shelf. It's not like that is on a 3D scan of my head. So if you want to just print the mask with all the cool textures, you can do that. And better yet, this build is going to be even easier than my typical builds because we're not painting anything. 3D printers have gotten so good recently, especially the Bambus and some of the Crealities, that we're just going to print both masks in the color they're in, red and black and yellow, and just assemble them with magnets. Now, obviously, if you want to go and paint them, you're more than welcome to. I have tons of tutorials on that. Grab some sandpaper, grab some spray paint, and have at it. I don't care, you do you, I'm not your boss. But obviously, to get into a build like this, we need some 3D files. So today, we're going to be using files from Vec3D, who made this beautiful Wolverine mask. You've seen him all around the channel before. He is one of the homies. And somebody new to the channel, Zach3D, he is also a little part, I think he's part of Wireframe. Am I crazy? I'm pretty sure he's part of Wireframe. Anyway, Zach3D made an awesome Deadpool mask. So we're gonna be doing both of those. Go to the links down below to grab the files. They are really, really, really good 3D modelers. So if you're supporting them, you're supporting the whole community, you're supporting me, and they're just good files, and that's what I'm using. So we're gonna do that. To the computer. Okay, so let's take a look at the 3D files. We're just gonna, ignore, nope, stop, okay. All right, so Vec3D, here are his Wolverine files. If we cycle through them, you can see how everything, that is horrifying. I did not know he updated that. That is nightmare fuel. Gives a bunch of different eye lenses, and there's a couple different textured versions and stuff. It's a really, really beautiful file. And then you have Zach's files for the Deadpool mask. He also has the face shell I was talking about earlier if you want the fabric, or you buy a Deadpool mask with fabric, but we're gonna be printing this one. It's all held together with magnets and stuff. He doesn't have any nightmare fuel like Kev did, so that's fun. So once you go and grab those files, it gives you a bunch of different options. You have the side pieces, you have the frames, the mesh, the jaw for the Deadpool, and then the Wolverine. There's a texture 1, texture 2, a smooth version, and a universal. It gives you renders for everything, so you can go and like compare what the actual texture looks like. I printed version 2, texture 2, so do what you will with that information. Now, 3D printing this stuff is super easy. Both modelers have cut everything up small enough where you can fit it on things like the Bambus, and that's what we're gonna be using for this entire project. We're gonna be using my X1 Carbon, P1S, P1P, and I think I'm gonna even break out the A1, but it's rather smaller prints. The only thing you might have trouble with is on the Wolverine mask, the actual big eye frame. We're gonna cut that in half, but we'll get to that in a minute. You can see how I've positioned everything here in the video. Look for the flat surfaces. I'm using Orca Slicer. I have a tutorial for that. It'll teach you everything you need to know about Orca Slicer and 3D printing this type of stuff. Looking for the flat things, the settings, the tree supports. So go look at that because I just don't want to waste time in this video doing it. So position everything however you need to. Look around, slice your projects. I'm using a very, very fine quality. Obviously, the better the quality you print at, the texture is gonna look a lot better because these are nice textured helmets. So just max out that quality, let the printer do the work, and it'll just look better in the end. Now, I'm fortunate enough to have a 3D scan of my own head. I have a video for showing you how to scale, 3D printed helmets, and you don't need a head scan, but if you have like a modern iPhone or like a Samsung, I think Galaxy S9, you can use a 3D scanner app on your phone. Super cool. There's other methods, but what I did is I dropped the Deadpool helmet into Orca, moved some stuff around, rebuilt the helmet, and I was able to scale it to my head perfectly. You can see here, I did the exact same thing with the Wolverine mask, just dropped it into Orca, moved all the pieces, assembled them, and then I was able to move it around to make sure it was the right size. I did have to scale both of them up. I believe I had to scale the Wolverine mask up to like 110% or 100 and I don't know. Scale it up. My head's different size than yours, so just figure it out. Here you can see the files for the Wolverine mask. Like I said, I just cut the brow or the nose of the big black frame in half, and there's this little yellow piece that sits right there. So if you have to glue and weld it back together, you'll never even see it. You have to do no cleanup at all. So I just use the cut feature in Orca, cut it right in half, and then positioned all the parts. I had the main dome part printing on my X1 Carbon, and I have like the yellow parts printing on the X1 or the P1S, and then I just doubled up on the black iframe things. So just get it arranged however you want. Now there is gonna be one little discrepancy here. On the side little jaw piece, there's a little section right here that's supposed to be yellow. Now obviously, unless we do a color change, I either need to print this whole thing in black and paint it a little bit yellow or vice versa. I'm gonna do neither of those things because it's so minuscule that you won't notice if it's black. I personally don't care. If you care, you can try to cut that out, or you can do a multicolor print if you have like an AMS or like a Prusa MMU3. So get these on the printer, max out the quality. Again, let the printer do the work. So here's everything successfully printed, all of the parts to the DeadPool mask. Now, I had to go and reprint it, unfortunately, because this one right here came out just a little bit too small. Zach has since gone and upped. This is 100% scale on the original files. He did increase the stock file size, so this shouldn't be an issue. I kind of have a one-off here. I glued it all together, but like, look at that. Look at the texture. Look at this. I hope that focuses. It's not focusing. It came out great. So I'm taking some time here to just clean up any of the burrs or any of the little supports that are still left on it and just smoothing everything out. Now for assembling the magnets, since I had to scale this helmet up a little bit, I had to actually take my soldering iron and melt the magnet holes a little bit bigger. Do not let the soldering iron touch the magnets, because if you overheat magnets, they lose their magnetism. It's kind of cool. So I'm using the soldering iron to like wallow out the holes a little bit and just stuffing these magnets into it. I do not know what size they are. They're the same size magnets that fit in the Vec Wolverine mask, but I'm just stuffing all the magnets into the hole. I'm dropping magnets everywhere. I'm having a hell of a time. And what I'm doing is, once I put the magnets into the slot, I am putting magnets on the back side of it to help squeeze and hold it together, while also putting super glue inside the magnet hole and just letting it dry. The Sienna Acrylite Quick Activator is wonderful. I cannot suggest it enough. So initially I was trying to do less is more and hopefully not use all of the magnet holes, but unfortunately, just the way the DeadPool mask is, I ended up having to go back and pretty much use all of the magnet holes. It just wasn't holding with the onesies and twosies, and it kept just falling apart, mainly because I was assembling it wrong, but whatever. I was getting frustrated with the DeadPool mask, so we moved on to the Wolverine mask, and you can see both parts of the black part printed beautifully. Even with a power outage, my P1P recovered phenomenally. The yellow, this is just such a nice Wolverine yellow. Again, I'm gonna link all the filaments I used down below, so if you wanna use the same red, yellow, black, whatever, you have that option. But you can see just how beautiful the texture came out on this. Again, this is texture 2, print texture whatever you want, and let's start assembling it. Was doing the same trick here with the Wolverine mask, just putting the magnets in. Luckily, since this was scaled up from a already usable size, I didn't have to use my soldering iron to wallow out the holes. They actually fit beautifully. If anything, the holes were a little bit too big, and I was just counteracting the magnets on the other side while I let the super glue dry. Having this thing start snapping together was just so therapeutic. My absolute only complaint about this situation is the fact that the yellow, at some angles, you can see the magnets from the other side, but from the front, you can't really tell. Sue me, I guess. Maybe buy like yellow magnets, those don't exist. Now here, after putting the magnets in the left and right side, I just pinched the nose together and just did a quick little PLA weld, just soldered the plastic together right where the nose is, and then I went and glued on that little yellow bit that we were talking about, and it just covered it up perfectly. I moved back to the DeadPool mask after that because I was happy with the Wolverine mask, and instead of just using the magnets, I actually did something I saw online. I cannot remember the maker's name. He made this really cool iron spider helmet that all magnetizes and locks together, but I put some elastic bands on the seams. So I started at the jaw, I did the little side pieces, and then I just moved around the mask to make it kind of a logical clamshell system. You can see here the elastic I added. This way everything kind of opens up and it wants to spring back together. This just made the most sense to me. This way the mask wasn't just falling apart every time I put it on the desk. The magnets lock it into place and the elastic keeps everything kind of held together a little bit better. Now for the eyes, is I tried to print the little eye frames that come with the file. I know some of my printers can handle it, but I was in a little bit of a rush. So I took some extra LED eyes, the cosplay LED eyes you guys have seen all over my channel. They're bendable, they're flexible. You can cut them with scissors and you can still see through them. And I just cut them to shape and glued them inside the mask. And they work perfectly. I didn't have to mess with anything and they look pretty good. I went and did this for both masks and I'm very, very happy with the results. With that, the masks are pretty much done being assembled. It's print, assemble, and we're gonna take a look at the final results. And here is the finished Deadpool mask. This elastic system. I'm glad I did this. So let's put this thing on.
I'm touching myself tonight.
Ooh, like a glove. And I can make it do this. Yeah. I guess I didn't talk about that. You can swap the iframes. There's different emotions and looks. I think that's kind of obvious when you look through the files. So you can swap the iframes out to make it look like he's winking or angry or surprised. And you can do that on both masks. I didn't because I didn't want to. Yep. Ooh, oh. There we go. So, and I can see through this. I can see through this perfectly. Okay, so let's see.
Maximum effort.
Did it work? Did the cut line up? Hey, this is the Wolverine mask. Before I keep talking, I'm gonna take this off because if I keep talking, it's just gonna do it. Now I could do the same elastic thing with this, but this mask isn't as temperamental as the Deadpool one. And you can see, just you know, just like, boop, right there. I did scale it just a little bit too big. I think it should have been just a touch smaller. There's a little bit of a gap. Not bad. I'm happy with it, but like this, well here, oh, funny, this looks, what's up? Yeah, this looks great. The colors are perfect. I am very happy with this. Here's a much better look at all that texture. Even the top layer where the printer finished, like that's what's cool about certain textured 3D prints. Even on a good high quality printer, that top layering you'll get, you really can't even tell. Like it nailed this top. And right here is what I was talking about before, that little bit of yellow that just should bleed there. But like, if I didn't say anything about it, you probably wouldn't have noticed anyway. I could go back and multicolor print it. Maybe I will do that on my AMS and just reprint this real quick with the yellow and the black, but like, this came out sick. So guys, that's pretty much gonna do it for this video. These helmets were super quick and easy to print and like they came out really cool. Now obviously, like I said in the beginning of the video, you can go and paint them. I could probably just take a very basic oil acrylic wash and darken them up a little bit. Maybe I'll do that in another video, but I have done weathering and like battle damage type videos and it's all the same stuff. Throw dirt, throw oil. I don't really want to do it with these because they're just raw 3D prints. They're a good example of what the colors can look like now and the quality that printers can put out in just raw prints, and I'm really happy with them. If you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns about anything you saw in the video, please drop a comment down below or maybe give me some ideas of other things you want to see me 3D print in just raw stock colors. No finishing, no painting, none of that. What else would be a cool like project to do like this? And also remember, I now have that Prusa XL that has a 5 color changer option. So yeah, the sky's the limit on that one, and I am always open to some really cool suggestions. And if you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel. This way you stay up to date on everything I have coming out, and you never miss an upload, and I have a lot of stuff in work. Trust me, it's gonna be 2025. Oh man, you guys aren't ready. But that's gonna do it for this video, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching, and you have a good day.